Am I the asshole for refusing to go to a child-free wedding if my son can't go? Hopefully the only edit. Am I confused and a little upset my son isn't invited to the wedding? Yes, sure. Is that the reason I am debating on not going? No, my decision to not go is based entirely on their attitude through what's been this month, and it's also been based on my son's current feelings. If in a year the situation has bypassed regardless of my son going or not, then my decision might change, but for now I will stand behind my son and his decision and feelings. Also, if the people who are barely reading the post want answers or more details, just click my account and check my comments. There's a lot of stories on here regarding weddings and child-free weddings and overall entitlement, but I want to know if I'm right by saying this situation differs to the rest or if I am truly being an asshole. My younger brother and Sil are getting married next year 2024, and sent out the RSVP earlier this February, which is when this whole fight started. The invitations include tickets to the wedding along with the dress code and a semi-letter letting the attendees know this is a child-free wedding, along with a few other formalities or rules, whatever they want to call them. Not my wedding, not my rules to make, plus I don't have children. My only kid is 16-year-olds and I am a single mom, so the whole idea of going to the wedding to enjoy a fun night to myself without kids is not something new, nor is it something I've had to worry about for a while. The issue isn't with the rule, the issue is that the invitation originally came with 2 tickets and we didn't think much of it because he's not a child, so why wouldn't he be invited? Turns out the no child rule involves anyone under the age of 18, and we found out when my son brought up the wedding during a family dinner, and both my Sil and brother seemed taken aback, which then led to questions and them finding out they had accidentally sent out 2 tickets, which then led to an awkward conversation and my son getting uninvited in front of the people present. I'm genuinely trying really hard to understand their side and the fact that it's their wedding, not mine, but I cannot get past the idea of the way they did so and how they made my son feel. Also, the fact that I had my son at a really young age and his dad was never present, so my brother was like a big brother to my son, so I think my son, and me, are quite hurt at the idea of my son not attending. I would say me choosing to not attend is nothing personal, but I'd be lying if I did so. I've been getting called immature, petty, and a bitch, but I think the situation would have been different had it been made clear my son wasn't going to be invited from the start and not get his invitation revoked randomly. I've been getting called immature, petty, and a bitch. Who called you those names? It's pretty blatant that if someone invites you to something with stipulations you can't comfortably meet, declining is the obvious and acceptable answer. Not the asshole if the couple called you names. No assholes here if someone else did, since it's not their conflict. Not the asshole. I'd sit it out. Maybe the extra ticket was an honest mistake, but do they really expect the name calling to change OP's mind? Their mistake, their shitty response, they're the Oz. Besides, child-free means some folks can't attend. It's the choice you make. If they won't make an exception due to age and the already purchased plane ticket, they've found out that some decisions have consequences they won't like. 16 is a little old to be counted as a child. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. They uninvited him? So rude. No need to go to that wedding. It's always hard to see that people don't reciprocate your feelings, such as your brother being a surrogate father figure to your son. All of the child-free weddings I've experienced meant kids who were young teens and under. 16 was never a problem. Personally, I don't understand excluding family from a wedding celebration, but that's me. Not the asshole if you don't go, but just give your regrets, don't make an ultimatum. Am I the asshole for sulking about the fact that my wife won't let me watch my son's birth? I, 28M, have been with the love of my life, Emily, 26F, for 7 years, married for 2. We have always talked about having kids, and I've always wanted to be there when they were born. When my dad was still alive, he used to tell me and my siblings all the time about how it literally brought him to tears. Not a man who cries, by the way. And he would say he was so grateful for all of us and for the experience. My beautiful and amazing wife is 8 months pregnant. It's been a pretty difficult pregnancy for her, well for us, but especially to her. She's had a few miscarriages in the past, and I've just been praying to God for both of them to make it through safely. We were talking more and more about what's going to happen when she goes into labor, and she's very adamant that I not be in the room, natural or C, no matter what. I've tried convincing, pleading, begging, but she won't change her mind. Her mom is going to be with her, and I understand that she needs her mom, and that she needs to do whatever to make sure that everything goes smoothly. I don't want to stress her out too much because I keep telling myself all that matters is that they're both healthy, but I'm honestly really sad about not being able to be there for my son's birth. It's not about me. I know that. All that matters is that they're both healthy. I've been trying to come to terms and understand this on my own time, so as not to bother her, but Emily's just being so condescending to me, and I know that she's just stressed out and scared, so she doesn't mean it, but I feel like I deserve to process this at least for a few days. I still do everything as I've done before, but she says that now I have this beaten puppy dog look on my face, and it's pissing her off. Then, she started scolding me, asking me why it mattered so much to me, and if I was going to act this weak in front of our son. She told me I needed to just be a fucking man and get the fuck over it. I feel like crying, but I don't want her to know, and get mad at me again, so I told her I was going out to get groceries, and am writing this in the car to try and calm myself down. I love her so much, but what she said really hit me hard. I just want them both to be healthy and safe, but I also wanted to be there. Emily's just being so condescending to me. She says that now I have this beaten puppy dog look on my face, and it's pissing her off. Then, she started scolding me, asking me why it mattered so much to me, and if I was going to act this weak in front of our son. She told me I needed to just be a fucking man and get the fuck over it. Is she always this cruel and misogynistic? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's your child, too. I don't blame you one bit for being upset. You're not an asshole for wanting to see the birth of your kid. If I was going to act this weak in front of our son. She told me I needed to just be a fucking man and get the fuck over it. Your wife is easily an asshole from these sentences alone. Being pregnant doesn't give her a free pass to be verbally abusive. While your wife is allowed to choose her support system in her delivery room, this stuff. Then, she started scolding me, asking me why it mattered so much to me, and if I was going to act this weak in front of our son. She told me I needed to just be a fucking man and get the fuck over it. Is totally uncalled for. You said that it matters to you because you care about them and the moment, which is a valid reason. And her belittling, gendered statement about being weak is really pretty horrible. You do need to be supportive of her delivery choices, but that doesn't give her a free pass to be so verbally abusive. I can't decide if that makes you both Oz for your behavior, or gives you both a free pass, but you both need to tighten up the family unit before the baby comes. Not the asshole. Being present for the birth is an incredibly bonding experience and will be forever one of my most cherished memories. Asking me why it mattered so much to me, and if I was going to act this weak in front of our son. She told me I needed to just be a fucking man and get the fuck over it. Whoa there, these are huge red flags and deserving of a whole heap of discussion, but to stay on topic. Have you asked why she wants only her mother there with her? Have you relayed the story of your father's reaction to being present? Does the hospital have a restriction on the number of family visiting? She told me I needed to just be a fucking man and get the fuck over it. Not the asshole. For that remark, and for her complete dismissal of your desire to be there for a life-changing event. If she didn't make her position on this clear before you started trying for a child, she's an asshole for that too. You'll get bombarded with YTA here, get ready. Am I the asshole for calling out my brother's comments to my niece in front of all his children? My 25F brother, B, 39M, came over to my mum's for his birthday last week. He brought over my Sil, 36F, their 3 children M, F11, Z, F9, and N, 3M. I'd done a whole buffet of food and had probably gone a bit odd. But we don't see each other as often as I'd like, and it was a celebration. Everyone loved the food and everyone ate their fill. But B kept calling out M. He kept making disapproving comments, telling her to slow down and asking her if she was going back for more. When she grabbed herself a second cupcake, he said, "Put that back, little piggy." She put it down and looked like she was going to cry. She then went and sat in the corner away from everyone and wouldn't really engage in anything after that, despite me trying to get her to join in. B, Z and N all had multiple cupcakes and it really bothered me he'd called M out. I put some leftovers into boxes for them to take home and told them that I'd put an extra cupcake in there for her. B's response was, "She doesn't need it, look at her, the little porker." M isn't fat, she's put on some weight recently, but in the way kids do before they have a massive growth spurt. I told B he was going to give her a complex, and I told him that comments like that lead to disorders. He said he was just looking out for his kids. I am not a parent. I don't understand that he needs to teach them to be healthy. I said as long as you have balance you can have eat like this sometimes. He looked uncomfortable and tried to lighten the mood with, "Well, at least she'd be skinny." And my response is the reason I think I am the asshole. I said, "Yeah. Maybe she'll be so skinny she'll be dead." Everyone went quiet, apart from my youngest two nibblings who were tormenting my cat under the table. They took their leftovers and went. B sent me a text later saying he was really mad about the way I handled things. I shouldn't have questioned his parenting and that he's considering if I should be at his wedding. My Sil hasn't commented and I've not responded to my brother. Mum thinks I was an asshole, but my heart is in the right place. Note: my brother has never struggled with an ED, whereas I've had troubles with eating since I was 12, so this is a sensitive subject. Am I the asshole for calling him out like that? Not the asshole. He is abusing her. Calling her piggy is verbal abuse. Why seems everyone be okay with this in your family? WTF. At least she be skinny. My fucking blood boils. It is also more likely to get fat if you have a bad relationship to food. He is teaching her nothing. Not the asshole. He's not parenting, he's bullying. Not the asshole. This is a prime example of how to ensure your kid has an eating disorder. My dad has made little comments about my food, weight in the past, and it's extremely hurtful, especially in front of others. You go op. Someone needs to stand up for your niece. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If he keeps going like this, his kid is gonna have some heavy mental problems regarding weight and eating if that hasn't happened already. You don't freaking call your own kid piggy etc. Immediate awe. Also, kids tormenting your cat? WTH? Am I the asshole for not washing my hands at 3 a.m.? Last night, my significant other, 28F, woke me, 29M, up at around 3 a.m. to tell me that I had thrown our dog off the bed while sleeping. I was a bit annoyed that she woke me up, so I went to the kitchen to grab a glass of water and use the restroom. I tried to stay as sleepy as possible to fall back asleep quickly. When I returned to bed, my significant other told me to wash my hands, as she had apparently heard me in the restroom and noticed that I forgot to wash them in my half-asleep state. I told her that I just wanted to go back to sleep and didn't want to argue since I had sprained my ankle a bit earlier in the evening. However, she continued to ask me to wash my hands repeatedly. After some back and forth, I decided to sleep in the guest room instead of our bed. I am aware that I should wash my hands after using the restroom, but I was annoyed that my significant other wouldn't drop the issue, and I couldn't fall back asleep until about 5:30 a.m. The next morning, I woke up in a bad mood, and my significant other asked me jokingly why I had slept in the guest room. I told her that I had slept there because she woke me up for the dog and wouldn't drop the handwashing issue. I expected an apology from her since I thought waking me up for the dog was inappropriate. However, she told me that it was my fault for not washing my hands and that I should have tried harder to fall back asleep. She said I was being dramatic and needed to get over it. I got frustrated because I had asked her to drop the issue several times during the night, but she had ignored me. I got angry and told her that I should have washed my hands but that waking me up for the dog's comfort was ridiculous and that she should have dropped it when I asked her to. I then told her not to talk to me until she had something else to say besides, "You are overreacting." She left for work, and I am now typing this in my home office, feeling upset. We are at a standstill where I feel like I need an apology, and she feels like I am being dramatic. I tend to get angry quickly when I am sleep deprived, so I know that I may be in the wrong here. I need some outside perspective, so Reddit, am I the asshole? If the woman was truly concerned about germs, she wouldn't be letting the dog sleep on the bed. Does she clean his paws before he enters the house with the same vehemence she expects you to wash your hands? I can guarantee a dog has walked through many unsavory things prior to bringing it back to your floor, inside your house, that you may be then tracking around yourself on the soles of your own feet. Not the dog's fault, just facts. Also, waking you up at that time of the morning? Unfair. I suggest the next time something like, "dog evicted from bed," happens, wake her up at bum-o'clock in the morning. See how she likes it? Not the asshole before even getting to the handwashing part. She woke you up to tell you that you disturbed the dog in your sleep? GTFO. Waking me up to tell me foolishness like that is a deal-breaker. Arguing with you in the middle of the night about anything less than life-threatening, and no, a little pee-pee hand is not life-threatening, is the icing on a shit cake. You both seem petty and have issues to work out. Some of the comments are wild. Just because we're pet owners doesn't mean we stop washing our hands lol. What lunacy. You should have washed your hands, but I get it. Not sure if I washed mine either when I peed last night. Lol. Edit. Appas lightly the for arguing and causing himself more lost sleep, instead of washing hands and going back to bed. The bed sheets are full of germs anyway. Everything is full of dirt and germs. You guys sleep with a dog. We sleep with 3, so no judgment there, but dogs get the bed dirty too. And last I checked, they don't wash after using the restroom. Wife was ridiculous and also shouldn't have woken you up about the dog. Although I feel bad if that happens to our dogs, too. Sometimes my husband has nightmares and starts punching and kicking, both me and the dogs. I will wake him up then.